my God, I made a huge mistake. I wonder if you know what it is. Let me get this off. But I made a huge, huge error. And that was have the YouTube running at the exact same time without muting it. So I was getting both audio through my head, but seconds behind one another. It was the most confusing thing. And then I froze and I couldn't do any of my responsibilities.
I was wondering, like, were we going to be talking and making people think that each of us was one of the camels?
Camels. Yeah, we should put those lips on it, and it just. Oh my God! Speaking of being old, I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was confused.
All this technology.
All the technology. So, welcome everybody to Ian and Jerrod's Humpday Extravaganza. It has been 2 weeks. I'll be honest; it seems like it's been longer than that. But I've had a lot go down since the last time we met. In that I'm in a new location. I did my winter move. Let's see. You can get a picture. Look at that. Look at that beautiful picture right there.
Look at that. It's a picture of your view where you just came from.
That's right. That's it. Oh, this is
You're doing a terrible job of moving out of the way.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a comment.
Look at already.
Yeah, there it is. So, so I moved. I've been busy at work. I don't know. It seems like I move in a weekend, but it seems like even though it's only a weekend, it seems like it takes 4 weeks. Like I just feel like I'm moving forever.
So when you do the winter summer move, is it like really just clothes, or is there furniture moving too?
No, there's no furniture moving, and I started to get a little less cheap, and now I keep a store. I used to just store things in the summer when I was at the cottage because there's no room at the cottage. But what I found out I'm storing, it's important things, but not anything I need readily handy. So I would move all that stuff into my winter place and put it into closets. Well, now I'm just not getting rid of the storage and I'm leaving it there. Yeah. So I can't even really complain about my move. It's especially in the winter because it's just there's no end date of when I need to be out of the other place. I mean, it's cold. And I have to walk outside to go to the restroom because they're community bathrooms. So that gets old real quick when it gets cold out. So there's that. But I can leave all my stuff and get in there. It's a mile down the road. So I can just move the essentials. And then as I need something, I'm like, oh. So I have a list going every time I go over to the cottage. I'm like, oh, like I left pepper over there. I need pepper.
Don't let that stop you from complaining now. I think
no.
Every opportunity to complain that life presents you.
Absolutely. And you've taught me that. That is something that I'm picking up out of this show and our friendship is
and yet, one of the things I complain about is complainers. So I'm just all over the place.
This is the thing. You do what you're going to do. Take your lessons from Jerrod, but don't try to please him because it's an impossible task.
Exactly.
So if you're going to be a complainer, do it for you. Don't do it for Jerrod because he'll hate you either way.
Right.
You're going to annoy him either way.
Yeah, I'll either complain about you or complain about you more.
Right. I mean, that's it. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, which I think is just a real kind of life lesson is right. For folks that tend to do things for others. There's no pleasing. Really anybody, even people that come off as, oh, you've pleased me. I really think deep down they're disappointed.
Well, for me, like if I do something for somebody, I want to keep bringing it up for months after. Hey, remember that time I helped you move, carry that one laundry basket of stuff out of your place? That was pretty helpful, right? I want all of the gratitude and thanks and all that stuff.
Nice. Do you? I'm controlling my volume here. You're a little low.
Oh, that's that's a shame.
That's a shame. I find that I used to be one that would do things for other people, and I also was one, like you just said, that really want the credit for doing things right. And you know something? Probably rightfully so. If you're looking for that, you're probably going to be disappointed more than you're happy about it. So again, attitude is everything.
Right. Like I could satisfy myself, just enjoy the satisfaction of knowing that I helped somebody else at a time when they needed help.
Right.
But that sucks. That
Right.
sucks. There's really nothing I get out of that. You know, I want all my satisfaction to either be smug or thrown upon me by others.
I agree. I can get on board with that. Let me put it that way. It's not even agreement. I'm like I can get on board with that. I'm not going to argue that.
I'm just hoping that our multitude of listeners right now.
Hey, we picked one up.
Hear that part.
Yeah. Well, whoever just joined missed it.
Yeah, big lesson they missed out on it.
Wow. Wow. It's either Amy or Sam.
Right.
Or Kelly. It's Kelly.
Oh, all right.
Look at that.
All right.
And Amy. And Amy. Look at everybody.
Oh, man.
We're just going to start the show at 7:07 from now on.
This is great.
Woo! We got all the viewers all the time
coming in from all over the place.
Hey, so couple big things.
Yeah.
You started in-person shows. How's that going?
So that has been going really well.
Good.
I've done 2 of them now, 2 Fridays of them. It's so nice to get back up on stage, to hear the laughter of the audience. It's mostly been when other performers have come up with funny stuff that I've been able to hear the laughter of audience, but it's still nice to hear laughter from the audience when you're on the stage.
Yeah.
You missed it, but you didn't realize how much you missed it until you
hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it would be like if you were doing a drug, if you're doing some drug that you had to stop doing it for a while. I don't know. Maybe you're on probation, but then it ends and you get to do the drug again. And it's like, oh, this is great. I so miss doing this drug. I assume it's like that.
Okay. I mean, hey, yeah. So doing improv is a lot like going into prison, is what you're saying,
right? Yeah.
You know. Yeah. No, I get it.
And it's funny, it opens up, and now it seems like the floodgates are opening because shows, show after
shows
show
everywhere.
Yeah.
We are. I'm slated to go on. Actually, I'm on a team with Kelly.
Nice.
Not this Kelly. Other Kelly. Kelly. Is this Kelly Morgan? Who's Kelly Shiloh? She's not.
She's the Kelly you're thinking of.
She is? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm on a team with Kelly and Roy and Josh Dixon and Brad Rohr. And I shouldn't have done this because I'm not going to remember everybody that's on the team. Because yes, I'm Kelly Morgan. There we go. All right.
Kelly does a lot of crime, so she has a lot of names.
She has a lot of aliases.
Yeah.
I know. I actually knew it was her. I just didn't want to blow up her spot in case the feds are looking for her. So
none of us are really sure what her real name. The only name that we're sure of is real for her is Kelly.
You remembered all. I remembered all the important people. God, I hope I got everybody. But I think I'm gonna miss our first in-person show. I'm supposed to be at a conference. Hartford.
Exotic Hartford.
I know. What I should do is come back.
You and I both grew up in Connecticut.
We did.
And I remember as a kid, especially when we came back from Germany, I was in the 3rd grade, and it's going to Connecticut, and I didn't really know much about Connecticut. I hadn't lived there for much of my life that I had any memory of by that point. So we get there, and it's like, Connecticut, what's in Connecticut? I remember my grandmother being like, it's the insurance capital of the world. And I was like, wow, whoop-de fucking shit.
Yeah.
The insurance capital of the world. There's no movies getting made about
the
insurance capital of the world. There's no musical where they're like the insurance capital of the world.
Yeah, no.
It's not there.
Nope. It's also the nutmeg state. It's the
Right.
worst spice ever.
Not only that, like the whole history behind it was like fake nutmeg going out. So we're not
Yep.
even getting the real nutmeg.
We're not getting the real thing. And then it's the
it's like, oh, so it's like homework.
yeah, that's exactly it. There's nothing. I was not sad to leave Connecticut. I was there until college, and then I never really went back. So
And I lived in the most unexciting part of the most unexciting state in the country when I left there too. Oh my God.
where were you living?
I lived up in the northeast part of the state, so that's where
All
I'm
right.
from. And I love my little hometown. It is a gorgeous little New England town and all that, but my God, is it boring? Oh,
Yeah, up there is. I went to a festival in. Oh, I forget the name of the town, but it's a big town in that area.
was it
And,
Danielson? Like
it's
Killer
oh, you're on Danielson. So you're kind of close to the Rhode Island border. Well, I was
Yeah.
close to the New York border. My east and west never really match up. It's
Your
okay.
map, it's upside down, Ian.
It's yeah. I was doing it because I was trying to figure. I was like, it's north. Oh, right. New Haven south, and yeah.
There's a song. It's by a ska band called Jesus Christ and the Four Hornsmen of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And the name
Great
of the song,
name.
it is a great name.
Yeah.
And they have a song called Connecticut's for Fucking. And
Oh.
if you've ever lived in Connecticut, I really recommend finding that song. It is all the little like tropes about Connecticut that nobody outside of Connecticut would ever know about. But everybody in Connecticut's like, yep, that's true. Like, right. Spray painting Ozzy on the highway and all that.
I've never heard of this song. I'm actually writing it down.
Oh yeah, it's definitely worth it. It's so I have it. I still use iTunes. Like
Yeah.
When Pandora and Spotify came out, I'd already invested so much money into my iTunes library that I was like, I am sticking with it. And sometimes you might be at work and it's like play the iTunes library on there, and like that's a song that comes up, and I'm like fumbling for my phone, like, no, we've got to skip that one.
I know. I my Spotify and my work merge a lot, and working at a university with young corruptible minds.
Right.
Some of my heavier lyric songs when I'm using it for like walk on music, because I work in venues where we put on shows and stuff like that, so every once in a while I'll plug my account in and I'm like, whoa, turn that safe filter on, because my music
I had kind of a big thing go on for me since our last show, Ian.
Yeah, what was that?
It was my birthday.
Hey, happy birthday!
I had a birthday party. It was wonderful.
I know. I was sad I couldn't make it. I had to work this past weekend. I was really bummed.
Katie and Jess put together a taco spread that was simply amazing.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Katie made her own chimichurri, and like by the end of the night, like me and Katie were sitting next to each other, possibly not in the proper state of mind. And it's like we were eating, like she did this flank steak and this shrimp and soaked in chimichurri, and we're like next to each other. We'd be talking, then we'd take a bite, and then we'd just be making like sounds. It was great.
Is Amy being sarcastic?
She's being very sarcastic because we had a show the night before.
Yeah.
And so the way we do it at Bring Your Own Improv is we bring up an audience member that we do an interview at the beginning of the show. So of course, all of my questions that I happen to be one of those who slotted to ask questions.
Yeah.
So my questions are like, were you aware that it's my birthday tomorrow? If you were my friend on the same improv team as me, would you have already wished me a happy birthday? Just doing things like that.
Just hamming it up. Yep.
Making it a big deal. Yeah.
Nice.
Last year for the online show, I was even worse.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing you're still on teams.
I know. So every time I'm on a team, and I've got a thing tonight with our new pig house team, which is really the same as the old one. We're adding Mindy, which is an awesome add to that team, but it looks like we're going to be doing a team name change.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Every time I'm on a team and the conversation comes up, what should the team name be? Every single time I offer up Jerrod and the Dumb Fucks. Every single time. It is
And no one goes for it, huh?
nobody goes for it. Noob's let me get away
Wow.
with it once
Yeah.
for like a jam team name, but I want more.
You want more. I think the only way you're going to get that is if it's a solo team.
Right.
Just you.
That or I somehow in a strong show of how far the world has fallen, get my own Netflix show and get a lot of hanger-oners who are on the show with me. That's the only way it'll happen. So
yeah, or I got one other way. Teach a level 1 and they don't know any better. They're like, you just give them the name for their showcase. And then totally insert yourself into their showcase.
In every scene.
In every scene, ensuring they never take level 2. You've ruined improv for them. Kelly's calling me out. Yeah, everything I say is a lie, Kelly.
It's true.
It is true. Yeah, I make up everything. And then Amy says it's Gerontourage.
Amy is an absolute master of wordplay. Like I used to think I was pretty good at it, and I knew some other people who were pretty good at it.
Yeah, but
Amy is annoyingly incredible at it. Like, just you can be in the middle of a scene with any time I think I've got a good one, I'll throw it out, and she will instantly have one back.
Better.
And there are times where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna boom, boom, boom. She always has one more.
Yep.
God damn it, Amy.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had a birthday.
I did have a birthday. The big.
4
or 5. Just to, I'm not sure which way.
4 or 5. Okay. Because it came off backwards, so it would have been 54.
Yeah.
And that's aging yourself. Yeah. No, and I have one. I have one coming up in December, and it's a big one. 5-0.
The big
5-0. 50 years old.
Oh, and your birthday, isn't it right on Christmas?
It's Christmas Day. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You and Jesus.
Me and Jesus. Yeah. He's got a lot of gall having his birthday on my day. Let's see.
It probably sucks for him because when people want to celebrate Christmas, it's probably like, oh, I just want to have it be my day, but everybody is always like, oh, it's Ian's birthday.
It's birthday, yeah. I feel his pain. I feel like we equally get that. Like that's equal. That's equal. So I'm turning 50, and there's dissonance in my head about that. I forget. And in every walk of life, I have a career that I work with a lot of younger folks. My improv friends, they skew younger. I was a little bit older when I went to college. I didn't go straight to college. So starting in my 20s, I've always been the older guy, but with younger folks. So I always feel like it. And now I'm like, God, 50, 30 was weird. I didn't care about 40 that much, but 50 is just, and I'm not saying bad things, because I really believe a lot of stuff is mind over matter, and if you start dwelling on it, but there is this dissonance in my head. I'm like, I can't be 50. I cannot be 50.
Yeah.
So,
like when I turned 30, I was a little bit of a mess, more than I thought that I would be. And then when I turned 4, it ended up being for all the wrong reasons. I'm like, oh, my 20s are gone. They're behind me. So I'm like, I just wasted I didn't waste my 20s. I did fine. No. Yeah. Turning 40 wasn't too bad, but I think because my 30s was my best decade.
Yeah,
The best decade. So now I'm halfway through my 40s, and I went from usually being like the youngest person in the crowd to now I'm often the oldest person in the crowd, because the improv thing. I just happen to be at my job right now. IT can be a big spectrum of differences. So now I'm often, and sometimes it's like I might have a friend who's in their late 20s. I have one friend, she's like late 20s, and like one night her and her boyfriend were gonna go play D&D, and she asked if I wanted to go along, and it's like, yeah, they're like 18, and I was like, I just can't. I will, and nothing against anybody who's 18 or anything, but I would really feel my own age there, and I would feel really old.
Yep.
In that
I
moment.
agree. I mean, I work with 18 to 22-year-olds on a daily, and the work I do, this is their lives. It may be work to me, but this is their college life, and I'm in it,
Yeah.
And but there are times that I'm like, I need to walk away from this conversation and it's not an appropriate conversation. It's just one that I cannot relate to or don't want to relate to it. Like I'm
Right.
like, I am so glad I'm not in my 20s anymore because this sucks. I know what they're going through, or that sort of thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and we talk about like being able to relate because there's nothing wrong. Every
yeah,
age you are, you experience the things that you experience at that age. But like to me, the guys who are like my age or your age
yeah,
dating in women in their early 20s or whatever,
yeah.
that's what I don't get. And it's nothing against any of the women in that,
Nope.
but I just feel like what do you have to relate to?
Yeah, this is the thing, and it has nothing to, you're right, it has nothing to do with the 20-year-old. What's
Right.
going on in the 40-year-old that they aren't like, I don't, it isn't, and this, again, not to slight, but I've been in those places. The 20s is a tough
Yeah.
time, and you do a lot of development in your 20s. And I just don't, it wouldn't be that interesting to have to be with somebody that was going through it. I think I'd be insufferable because I'd be like, just get over it. Because, like you've
Right.
been there and,
Yeah.
and,
The things that you've experienced many
yeah,
times, they're experiencing for like the first or second time. So of
yeah.
course it's a bigger deal. You know?
My best friends now, besides my good friends that I grew up with or knew in college, most of my friends now are 35 to my age. That's and no, there's no real intention for that. The other thing that I find, it's not even age, it's married versus single and
Yeah.
kids versus single. That's what
Yeah.
happens in the 30s and the 40s. That all, as a single guy, it changes everything. Like it's just, I'm still close with those folks. They just don't have the time, and you're not.
Right. Yeah.
It's not your relationship isn't the same priority, and nor should it be. Right?
Right.
I don't want this to sound like poor, but that's the reality. Like so, I do go younger because those folks aren't as far along in life. They may not be married. They may not have kids. So I end up going with the people that have time to,
That's true. Yeah.
like, hey, you want to hang out? Yep, I do, and they don't have any of those responsibilities that my friends that took a different path than I did,
Yeah.
because most of my college friends are married and with kids. I mean, there's very few that aren't. And that just wasn't a path that
Yeah.
I went on,
And in my background in the military, you get a lot of people, myself included, who start having their kids really young.
Yep.
I was 21 when my oldest daughter was born, and I was done having kids in my
Yep.
20s still.
Yep.
So in the military, like a lot of my friends back from those days, their kids are like mine. They're out of the house, or they're like seniors, juniors, high school. They're off to college. They're starting their own lives, and then
Yeah.
coming back where it's just a different dynamic for people who weren't. You building the career is different.
Yep.
All of that. So I have friends who are around my age now who do have very young kids.
Yep.
And yeah, there's no right or wrong in that.
No. I mean, my parents had me when they were in their early 20s, not 21, but I think 23. My dad, and they would have had me earlier, but he got drafted into Vietnam. So, I was a year after he got out of the service, and I'm sure that messed their time frame up. So, but it's funny. I've been doing this for like the last 10 years. Like, I'm like, I can remember my parents at the age I am now, and they seem so old. And it's just
Right.
funny, it's just like, and in a lot of ways, they just had more life experience because they raised kids and were married and that sort of thing. So they were dealing with a lot of other shit that I've never had to deal with because it's just me, which is one of the things I love about being single is like, my sister is married and has a kid, and she had Josh, in her 30s. And, I just look at how complicated her life can be. But her life is great too. I don't want to put a negative, but there are times that I'm just like, wow, I can barely handle my own shit. Like how, like I'm like, wow, that is just amazing. And she's amazing, and her husband's amazing, and
Yeah.
Josh is amazing. But they've gone through a lot of shit, you know.
Well, and it's funny that dynamic of when you see how somebody else has done it, and it's different than the way you've done it. It could be like, wow, I don't know if I could do that. Like I talk to other friends who are around my age who have young kids, and I say, wow, I couldn't imagine at my age now, like dealing with a young kid. And for a lot of them, their response is, I couldn't imagine when I was in my 20s, still really growing as a person, also having to be responsible for raising a
Yeah,
young kid. They're absolutely right. It's like,
yeah,
I was still growing and learning, also raising, my daughters were younger, that the very young kids.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's yeah, and it's just the way the world kind of works out.
yeah. Yeah, and it's funny. All my friends had their marriages and kids at very different times in their life. So I have a friend that has pretty much represented any time. I
Yeah.
had one in their 20s, I had some in early 30s, late 30s, and then just coming in at as late as you probably can have kids, you know. And it's been fun to watch. But yeah, but I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm pretty much, I think at this point, like I don't want kids. I wanted kids a lot when I was younger. But now I just, if I had, say in my 50th year, like I would have to find somebody real quick,
Right.
and have a kid in my 50th year. When that kid's going to high school, I'm 68. That is
Yeah.
or just graduating high school. And I'm just like, all that energy, like I'm not that, I mean, I have all the energy in the world, don't get me wrong, but it's not like it was when you were in your 20s. Certainly not in your 20s, even your
Right. Yeah.
30s, and even I think the first half of my 40s, so it's just it's the physical energy, but the mental energy and that sort of thing. So
When my
yeah,
parents were my age, I had two kids. They had
yeah,
two grandchildren when they were my age.
yeah,
And
yeah,
for them it was great because they
yeah,
were still young enough to be able to enjoy all that and really enjoy being a grandparent and still be able to do all the things with their
yeah,
grandkids. And
yeah,
I think, I don't know, they love my youngest niece is 10.
yeah.
My oldest daughter is 20. Wait a minute, how old now? 50, she's 24 now, right?
Hmm.
I've lost count. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's part of getting
29.
old.
I could barely
Prior to this birthday, you would have had that math down.
No, she's 23. The 23,
23.
2017 is.
There
Oh, I
you go.
hope she didn't watch that part because she would
No.
kill me.
Yeah.
But they've
Your
got
niece is going to rat you out. I bet your niece is watching.
yeah, they've got kind of that gap, and they love being grandparents to
Yeah.
that entire spectrum of that 13-year difference in age with all of them, and it's
Yeah.
really great. They've had a chance to watch most of their grandkids now grow up and become young adults. So
Yeah. Yeah.
very cool. Very
That
cool
is
for
pretty
them.
cool. That is pretty cool. But
Those are
yeah.
things that are easy for me to say.
Yeah.
But then it's like, for myself, I'm like, oh man, going to bed thinking about my own mortality at
Yeah.
night.
Uh,
The
it's
things that I'm Googling and the things I get angry about when I'm Googling, like let's say, just for instance, you happen to pee and it smells bad, but you didn't have any asparagus. So you're like, is this an indicator of
of
anything?
something.
Yeah, high blood sugar, cancer of some kind,
Yep.
whatever. And you Google it, and any way you Google stinky pee, it's always about asparagus.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know how to find out, hypothetically, if I'm dying of something, that the only visible symptom right now is my pee smelled bad once. Oh, you froze at the perfect time. Man,
I
that was
froze.
great. I couldn't have
I hit
handed
the
off
wire. I hit my Ethernet cable.
I couldn't have handed off a better segue than that.
Oh, it's like, oh God, please don't drop, please don't drop. Sorry. So you're peeing and smelling and yeah, no, I had my physical on Friday, right? And my doctor, and I really like my doctor. I've had him since I moved to Rhode Island, and he's just really a good dude. He goes, "Oh, you got a big birthday coming up," and I'm like, "Yeah." He says, "You know what that means?" And I was like, "No," and he goes, "Colonoscopy." So he referred me, like he put my name into a referral to get a colonoscopy. I'm like, oh, I'm glad. He says, I love people's 50th birthdays. I come in all. I was like, all right, what are you gonna do? Yeah, but I mean, things are falling apart. Your body does not repair itself the way it used to. That's what looking older is all about. Your cells are replicating differently than when you were young. We're yeah, right. Color. I got some gray in there, and I have some wicked. And Amy said this. I wanted to bring this up. Me too, Amy. Nobody ever believes my age, but I think they're starting to, especially if I'm not wearing a hat, because I got that. It's not a receding bald spot anymore. It is baldness, so it really does show the age. But I've been, and I'm not a vain person at all. Like, I don't really care. But when I look at the mirror, I'm like, wow, look at the crow's feet. Look at the aging skin. And even like on my hands and things, it's different. I could see myself, oh, you're getting that thin old person skin. I will. I see the path to it,
And it's, for the most part, I've always kind of been the same way. Like, you know what? I will age.
Yeah.
I will be good looking throughout my age. I'll be fine. But then you just have bad days sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's some days I go and I look in the mirror and it's like, the eyes, those bags are here to stay now.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
It's nobody will ever love me. My chance for love is gone. And, and I'm not one who like swings like really low or high, but
yeah,
boy, sometimes it's what? It's really a thing of if you let it get into your head, it's gonna stay and fester. It's like you say, it is a mind over matter thing.
Yep, it absolutely is. It's the same thing. You know what I learned in my and you said 30s were your best decade. It was my worst. I think I had this sounds. I don't want to make this sound inflammatory, but I really had some unchecked like mental health issues. Like I was more depressed than I thought I was. And it's in retrospect, I was like, holy crap, you were really low. And I kind of suffered through that without really realizing it. And part of that was, being single and part of it was like you're saying, dwelling on it, and then, the best advice I've gotten, some of the best advice I've gotten is if you find yourself dreading going to work on Monday, you'll have a shitty day on Monday. If you don't dread work, if you really just stop yourself, just really try to mindfully say, I'm not going to think about work tomorrow. Usually you're in a much better mindset and that sort of thing. And I think that's true of life. When you find yourself, your mind really, really can shape your attitude, and that could really shape the perception of your day. The same shit's going to happen. It's how you react to it and how you're prepared to react for it that makes a big difference. And that is something that I learned in my 40s and much happier for it,
Yeah, I know. I remember it was probably 24, 25, and I met this one dude. He was an Air Force reservist when I was down at SOCOM, and he was a salesman in his real life. And I do the cynical jokes whenever this all sucks, da 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 da. And I wish I've looked for him. I don't remember his first name. I wish I could find him, because he would say things like, you know what, on my phone it says you're gonna have today will be a great day, and I see that every morning when I wake up. And he's the one who really started me in on the happiness is a decision that you make.
Yeah.
And when I first heard it, as I often am when I first hear things that are different than the way I feel about stuff or different than the way I think, I was like, whatever. But I thought about it, and he was right. And that's not to take away from, mental health issues that people
right.
Because I know there are some people who are like, you're depressed? Well, just decide to be happy.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, some of it's chemical and
not saying that. But in so many ways, happiness is a personal decision. And that's why I think the last year and a half was tough for someone like me, live by myself.
Yep.
Those negative voices in my head, they didn't have anybody else to quiet them. It was only me, and sometimes they just get loud, and you don't have the mental energy to tell those voices to hush up. You just let yourself kind of swirl. Self-pity can feel good to wallow in every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It was funny because I really relied on Zoom calls and they as someone that also single and living by myself during that, and also the whole reason I started getting into streaming is I was enjoying other people, friends of mine, streaming shows like just two talking heads. And I started really doing that, and it made all the difference. It really did. It was like I'd do my show, and then I'd be happy. Same. It's a very similar feeling to doing an improv show. Is like I can go into the night of an improv show and be like, I don't want to do this. I'm tired, and then be on stage, and then afterwards like, where are we going? What's next? When can I get on stage again? That sort of thing. So
you don't realize how long it's been since you've seen your friends in person. Like you and I don't think we've run into each other since before the pandemic.
No, I mean, that was the bummer. I really was like, I could see so many people I haven't seen, and I haven't seen Jerrod with your birthday, when Katie sent out the invite, and I was like, it was family weekend. This past weekend at JWoo. So I was working from noon. I was there till midnight. So it was a 12-hour day. And I was like, because I was even like, can I sneak out and just say hi to people? Like, even if I get 10 minutes, but
Like if we like look, in the watching tonight, Kelly and Amy, Amy, I had just started with Bring Your Own Improv. Like really, I think we'd only seen each other in person like twice at that point. And then all online for the next year and a half, which was nice to have because a lot of times I could, in a week, that might have been my only interaction with my friends.
Right.
All that time, and then seeing in person. Kelly and I haven't seen each other in person since the whole pandemic ended, and I mean we would do. She's always got really cool ideas for shows to do and sets to do and things like that. So she'd be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. So we do a practice together. We go to Pizza J's, kind of talk about how we wanted to do the set, do shows, those kind of things. Just those times with people, times with your friends that you do a practice for a show. Half the time is practice, and half the time is just you're enjoying each other's company, making each other laugh.
That's it.
Having those things. I admit I probably took them for granted. At the time, and it's not that I didn't appreciate the friends that I had or appreciate the fun that I had. Because what's more fun than being with a person or people and laughing? And, that is the best. But we did our best to replace it, in with either doing Zoom shows or texting each other jokes and stuff like that. But there really is nothing like that. Just the conversation, just sitting around with your friends and you're going to talk, you're going to make your little jokes. We're all comedians, so we get find that little bit and just kind of riff on it for a while. Being able to do that again has been great. And I miss everybody who I haven't been able to do that with, but I definitely appreciate that so much more now. Yeah, no,
one of the things that I kind of, I have a touch of the social anxiety, and how that can present and manifest itself as being aloof. And I feel like with Pig, it happens a lot. I have to feel really comfortable to kind of let my hair down, not in shows, but in those social settings. So the before and the after, I can get quiet, and I know it can come off as aloof. And that's something I've really really want to work on, because I feel like these people are so important to me, and I don't think they realize it. And it would bother me if people thought, oh, he's aloof or that sort of thing. And I definitely would think that. It's not like that. It's me. How would I perceive me? And that's how I would perceive me. And that bothers me, that sort of thing.
I'm kind of the same way. Before I really know somebody, I'm not as open. I'm probably not as smiley. I'll be a little jokey, but I'm not as jokey as I normally will be. Once I'm comfortable with somebody, with people, I'm really let my hair down. And sometimes it happens quicker than with others. And I worry about that too. I worry, am I coming off like I think I'm better than because I am better than other people. And
Right, but
that's
you
not
don't
the
want
reason.
them to focus on that. You feel that way, right?
Right.
You are better. I mean, you can't help that. I'm the same way. I mean,
Right.
you can't help that, but you can help how you present that to other people. Amy said, I must say it's completely wild finally meeting people in person who I've been in Zoom classes with for the last year. I'm looking forward to one of the best things that happened with the pandemic was meeting the folks at Happy Valley Improv up in Pennsylvania. I took some classes there. They were the ones that inspired me to do weekly shows, like get StreamYard and do things like this because they were having so much fun with it. And then I just took so many classes. I feel like I know them, and I took a writing class with them and that sort of thing. So they're doing in May. They're doing a improv festival, and I am going. I'm either going with the team or I'm going on my own just to hang out with folks and meet them in person.
Yeah.
So Amy, I can't wait for that to happen for me because that seems to be. It's just their state college. They're so far away. It's not even like it's not like, oh, I can go see a show on Friday, get a hotel, and be back on Saturday. It's just a little too far to do that. I'd have to, if I were gonna do that, I have to do a flight, and I'm a cheap bastard.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
I think it's time to bring out this. We've gotten pretty serious. But look how far you've come.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Man.
Look
God,
at
I was
that.
so drunk in that picture.
You're very gnomish with the antenna and
Well, we called those when I was a youngin' was bleep blops.
bleep blops.
Yep. And that was in Germany. That was when my dad was in the army and we were stationed over in Germany.
Oh my God.
They had carnivals and festivals and stuff all the time. And believe it or not, as a little kid, I'd wear those bleep blops every bleep blop and chance I got.
Why not? I mean, they're cool looking, and then you find out the name. That's the cherry on top.
Right. There's no cooler name for them than bleep blops.
Bleep blops, no.
Different names, but bleep blops, and that's all they are to me. And you know that's kind of a funny thing because like you learn how much what you call things are not what other people call things, but it's so hard to change. Like growing up, I thought people called soda. I didn't think that people actually called it pop.
Yeah.
Until I went to other parts of the country, and it's like, man, I can't wait to get out of here. Just drink a nice cold pop. It's like, whoa!
What? Yeah.
Hot dogs. They were always hot dogs where I grew up.
Yep.
That Rhode Island hot wieners. What? People really call them wieners? I'm still, and knowing all that, I still do not think that there are people who refer to them as Frankfurters.
Yeah.
I just can't see that coming up in a conversation. So,
I went to the first time I experienced like a cultural shift was moving a half hour to Massachusetts. They didn't know what a package store was. And I was like, what? I guess it's a pretty Connecticut. And I'm in Springfield. But there were people there, and maybe if they lived in Springfield, they know. But because you're with people that are from all over the place, I would say, let's go to the package store. And they're, what are you talking about? And and grinders, that's the other.
Yep, that's another one.
Yeah.
So the package store thing really is such a regional thing because in other parts of the country, it's like
a liquor store.
Special stores just for liquor. You got some states like California, you can buy liquor right at the supermarket.
Yep.
Which was fantastic. In Virginia, when I lived there, all of their liquor stores are called ABC stores.
Yes.
They're all state run.
Yep.
And ABC is like Alcohol Bureau
Commission, something like that. Because I lived in Virginia too. Yeah.
In fact, the place I lived in Virginia, I was renting, but a real estate agent she was taking me around to the places that I could rent, and she was great because I had mentioned that I had just gotten there. And I had just gotten back from kind of a rough deployment, so I was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Not proud of that, but that's just where I was. So it
is what it is.
When I wasn't on base, it's like, And she goes, there's ABC stores. Let me show you how close the one to this place is. And sure enough, that's the place I ended up renting.
There it is. Yeah. Nothing like being able to walk to get your alcohol.
That's right.
Yeah. No driving. I'm safe.
I'll tell you what, growing up in Northeast Connecticut, and we lived like out in the boonies, out in the country there.
Yeah.
Town really wasn't walking distance. when I started to live in places like, oh, I could walk to like stores. When I lived in Virginia, I could walk to a wings place. Oh
Oof.
my, I love wings. And to be able to
Oof.
walk to and it was good wings. Be able to walk there was amazing.
Oh, I had wings last night, Jerrod. Thought of you.
I had wings last night too.
Hey.
Tell me
Yeah.
about your wings.
My wings. It was a restaurant that I go to, Camden's, and we've talked about it. And they're not the best wings, but they have good ones. They changed them.
Really?
These things were so big.
Nice.
And they were breaded. And you know how I'm not a breaded fan, but they were loaded in sauce. The sauce made up. They were so spicy. I'm getting my mouth's watering a little.
How spicy were they?
They were as spicy as buffalo sauce gets, with still tasting like buffalo sauce.
Nice.
And yeah, it was good. But I got them and I ate them. I had 6 of them. And it ruined my dinner. That's how big these things were. Normally I can eat 6 wings and still get my dinner down. But I had my dinner tonight from last night. It was because of the wings. But yeah, I was thinking, I was like, oh, I don't know if Jerrod would like these. This wasn't in the step in the right direction for Camden's.
Right.
Well, wouldn't stop me from getting them, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm still getting them. So I went to, because me and Mike Dunn, we met up because we're teaching a level 2 coming up. So we wanted to get together first, kind of talk about it. And so we met up at Providence Coal-Fired Pizza, which it turns out is exactly the same as Anthony's Coal-Fired Pizza.
I didn't know that.
Wings were exactly the same because I have gotten them.
Did you get the sea salt wings?
Well, the way they do the wings there, the ones that I got,
different.
Take them, they marinate them.
Yep.
And then I think they bake them, but they bake them in onion, and I don't like onion. But what it does, like I don't like onions, but it's the sliced onions, and I think they do that so that it keeps the wings moist when they bake them. So it's sort of giant pile of onions that you're digging through and everything, but the wings are fantastic. They really are good. It's all the one flavor. It's not like they're like spicy, hot, or anything like that, but it tastes like they marinate them. There's kind of a lemony taste to them too. Some nice spices on there, and they're enjoyable wings.
Yeah. That's good. I had them years ago. I haven't been in forever, but I really liked them. And they were salty, if I remember correctly. Like they salt them or something. Really?
So my first experience, which this could have gone so wrong in my life, was Anthony's Coal-Fired Pizza. And it was the first DoorDash order I ever made. It was when I moved here. When you live in Northeast Connecticut, it is not worth having DoorDash. Nope. Nothing, no value in it whatsoever. But here I'm like, oh, let me try this DoorDash thing. So I got like those wings, and I got these ribs that they would do. They do them with hot peppers or vinegar pepper. But because it was my first order, those things have like the massive discounts on the first order. So it costs like $4.50 total for a whole rack of ribs and a whole big order of those wings. And I was like, how do I do that again? It turns out you don't.
You don't. You move. You move and pretend you never did this before. That's exactly.
Create a DoorDash account.
That's it. You're like, sir, this is the first time delivery. This is the 4th one this week. We're on to you.
Just create another DoorDash account, use the same credit card information, and just keep rolling those big discounts. I might have a life hack right here.
Here it is. You could go to part-time. Save so much money.
Just, then resell it for more than what I just paid.
Yeah. Hey, DoorDash, I hope you're not watching. I hope you're not one of the 3 people.
And I will say most of my purchases are Grubhub.
Yeah.
Usually Grubhub.
Yeah.
And I get the, because I use it weekly, I get the thing where it's like always free delivery. Once a month, you get a thing. It's basic. They say we'll buy a meal for you. It's $10 off a pickup meal. But you know what? I am often perfectly good with. But getting older, I've been trying to. I got chunky over the past year. Plus, I'm getting older, so it doesn't melt off as well.
Right.
So I have been trying to do a little bit better with my eating, and I am doing a little bit better with my eating, but I don't want to be doing better with my eating.
No,
so good.
I feel as we get older, we should have less reason to. We should be able to do it, but no, you don't bounce back. Oh my God! Oh, here's something to complain about.
Yes,
I was diagnosed with tennis elbow the other day.
What? When's the last time you played tennis?
That's what I said. And he was like,
bullshit.
yeah, I was like, I need a new doctor. First, you're excited about my colonoscopy. Then you're telling me I got tennis elbow. And because I've had some heart issues, they won't put me on an anti-inflammatory. So this is what I got. This is it. The elbow brace. It goes on.
No.
Yeah, it goes on, but it goes on beneath your elbow, and it puts pressure on the tendon there so that it interacts with the bone differently. It does make a little bit of a difference, but still, I either gotta hurt or wear that thing. I don't know what it's not bad when I'm wearing a dress shirt, but as you could tell, I'm not wearing it with a t-shirt.
Right. Oh, I got it. Like the injuries you start getting when you're old. There's days where like I'll be at work all day and I'm sitting at a desk staring at monitors all day. At the end of the day, my neck will be sore.
Yep.
It's like, I must have been staring at my monitors wrong.
Yep. I forgot to move my neck for 3 hours.
I used to run a 5K every single day, at least, often farther. Now, looking at the monitor wrong.
Yeah.
Just completely incapacitates me.
My Apple Watch, my exercise is so low. I did 0 moving today, and
no.
I closed the circle and I still have a quarter. I went a quarter more, and I think the only thing is I worked in the city today, so I had to walk 2 blocks to get to one building to another. Other than that, I was sitting all day long.
I've started, and I didn't do it this morning, but most mornings when I get up, because my work hours change, so I don't have to be until 8:30.
Yeah.
I'm already awake, so I'm like, you know what? Instead of just laying around in bed, take a walk.
Get up. Yeah.
So I've started doing a little walking in the morning before work, and I know my entire life I'd be once like, new workout program, great. I'm gonna dive in head first, balls to the wall.
Do it.
Oh my God! And I know, like the last time I did that was not long after, a couple years after I retired. It's like, it's been a couple years. Let me try out this CrossFit thing. And I started doing it, and I went once, and I was too sore to go back for a week and a half. And I just slowly, so that's kind of what I'm doing now. Even like, it's a hill right next to where I live.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I was like, I am done. Slap the telephone pole and walk back. Now I'm storming past.
Yeah. And that's the best feeling.
Yeah, and I do need to keep upping it because I do know how much I'm physically capable of.
Yeah.
And I do know how to like really haze myself and do it, but I know I can't just start.
You lose it. We're getting to the age where you lose it. It doesn't come back like it used to. Yeah. As somebody that has gone, I go through spurts where I'm like, I'm going to be real healthy and I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do it. And I'm good for a few months and then I lose it, but then I can come back and do it. Now it's harder and harder and harder to get back. The only exercise that I've ever truly loved was spinning. I was a spin fanatic. And then I got into a car accident and messed my back up. And my back's fine now. I could definitely spin. And the idea of going back is just so... Yeah. There's no appeal to me. But it's funny. I just feel like I should go. But half of it was I really liked the class I was in. Like I really enjoyed the people. You got to know people and that sort of thing. So half of the appeal was like that instructor, those people and that sort of thing. And now I'm in this is when I was in Massachusetts. So, I would have to do that. Find that again.
Yeah. Even when I was running, I never enjoyed it. And it was the point where, in the Marines, it starts out where somebody's like, we're going out to work out. And then it was like, you get enough rank. It's like, you have to be the one to make yourself do it now.
Yeah.
And the hardest step to take is that first one. Every single time, the hardest, shittiest step is that first one. You go for a while, it's like, okay, I'm there, I'm doing it. But man, it just sucks so much.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Well, and I'm all about excuses, but I'm also, I got to be into work really early. I'm not a morning person, but that's the time that makes the most sense for me to walk because, like tonight I got home at 6 p.m. and we had this show. So there was no, and I can always make an excuse, or I find myself working just enough so it's too late. I can't walk now, that sort of thing. Like I'll stay at the office. And
well, I will say, like my last job, I really enjoyed doing the CrossFit thing. Once I got over the soreness and I could go more often, I really enjoyed it. Because to me, it was like all I have to do is show up and do what they say. And that does
no thinking.
You don't have to self-motivate through an entire workout. You just have to get yourself there. Yeah. And they take care of it from there. It's Red Island CrossFit up in, I think they're in Smithfield. Great people. Great person running
our new sponsors.
That place. Our new sponsor for the show. But like, work started getting later and later, and next thing you know, just can't anymore. So now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to bump up the workouts. I don't know that I want to start running. I'd rather do something in a gym because at one point in time, I had 2 different occasions in my career. No, it was one, whatever. But I got into insanity, and that's something like you work out with somebody else and you do it, and it's a lot. Like doing it, I tried doing it myself. It's like I am not going to be able to do this.
Right.
But it's a great workout, and when you do it with other people, it just makes it so much more doable.
Yeah. No, I need to, and I don't have an excuse. I mean, I work in a gym. My office is in the university athletic center, and there's a workout room 20 feet from my office. But there is something about, it really bothers me when a student comes up and asks a question. You're just on. Like, I just want to put my headphones in and not think about anything. And it's a little hard. Not that they're doing anything wrong by that. They definitely should. They see me. I don't want to be unapproachable, but at the same time, when I'm sweating and feeling gross and all that, I don't want to have to answer a question or, deal with it. So I've always been one that goes elsewhere, even though it's a benefit for my work.
Well, for me, I've never been able to get into and maintain a good weightlifting habit or anything like that, because when I was growing up, for me, I played a lot of team sports. And I love playing team sports, and I really can't do them. Like, I love just getting with the guys, playing basketball all day. I used to love doing. I couldn't do that now. Now I take a bad fall or something like that. I am really doing myself a lot of damage. But even like late in my military career, I was still always finding ways to play in soccer leagues, indoor soccer leagues. And then I got out, and the only thing I was really doing was playing some softball, which is not much of a workout, especially because like the leagues, I was in one league where I hit all home runs. So could slowly pace my way around. The other league, I always pop flies out. So I wasn't running very far there.
Either way, yeah. And I've never been competitive. I did as a kid. I did all the major sports. Tried to do a season. My parents did a good job of exposing my sister and I to anything we were interested in, and also giving us a try for when they. But I never took to any of it. I did basketball, I think the longest. But as a kid, so you're just running. It's just I hate running and anything that has running. Soccer was horrible. I tried soccer. I hated it. I like baseball a lot, but it was hot and it was I was a little 50-year-old man as a 8-year-old. Like I was like, it's too goddamn hot.
I see. I could have never have run cross country or anything like
that.
And that's one thing we ran. It's 3 miles minimum every time you run.
No.
So I have never enjoyed. I've always hated just going out and running. But I always said if I was doing a run and somebody was rolling a soccer ball in front of me the whole time, I think I could have run forever.
Forever.
That's my best times out there because I always loved playing sports. And it was really more my mom who was into sports than my dad. My mom came from a big sports family and everything. And she coached my first little league team and everything. And my whole life, I'd have uncles coaching me in different sports and stuff. So that was, you start it so young, it's just such a habit. You totally expect, soccer season starting, and baseball season starting. Yeah. I'm going to play.
Yep.
And just socially. For a long time socially, it could be let's get together and play basketball or even just throw a football. In my car, everywhere I go, I have in my car, I've got a soccer ball, I've got a volleyball, I've got a football, I've got an air pump. Until I lost it, I had my baseball glove in there. Like I'm still in the mindset that I'm always ready for some activity like that to just break out. Because I love just hanging out, throwing a football around, but I have not done that in years. And maybe part of it's just, not only am I in a different part of my life, but the crowd that I'm most likely to socialize with is very, very different. Like when you're in the military, you know what? You're going to be always surrounded by people who are really into sports.
Yep.
Just a lot of people in that world are really into it. You can always find a group of people to play some football with or something. Yeah. Now I hang out with improvisers.
Yeah, who are
way funnier.
Yep. But they're not usually interested in competition like that. Yeah.
Like, who what was it? Remember a few years ago, Alyssa and Jimmy, they put together that kind of pig outing.
Like the field day?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did not make it. Again, aloof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of it, we were just kind of hanging out, and it was me, Chloe, Katie, and Jess were throwing around with my football, and they were like really enjoying it. So I had actually got their addresses and bought them footballs, and it ended up being a little smaller, and I didn't hear anything about it. And I was like, oh, did I cross a line?
Right. Did they take it in the way that you meant it to be?
Homes, and I was like, oh. And then like months and months later, I get a text from Katie like, oh my God. So her apartment complex, it had gotten delivered to like the manager's office or the office there. And they never let her and Jess know that it got sent. So it was months and months later before they got it. And like she's like, oh, I'm so happy. I was like, I really thought that. And then I found out with Chloe, I'd sent it to the wrong address. So whoever I'd sent it to kept it. So I got another one and sent it, and it turned out she had just moved. So if I get her a football, I'm going to have to hand it to her.
Yeah.
I got that for her birthday. I totally forgot. But and that was such a cool moment because there was a time in my life, because I played a lot of sports, I got pretty good at a lot of sports.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit douchey about it. A little bit like when I played, I wanted to play against people who were really good and play.
Yeah, you're competitive, and it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, so to be able to tamp that down and just be able to just do something fun with my friends and enjoy being with my friends and do it in a way where they were able to enjoy it too.
Right.
Oh, that's how that works. Oh.
That's how that is. That's how that's supposed to be. Oh, I get it. So
I was sore for days after that, by the way.
What's that?
I was sore for days after that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I get sore bowling. Any kind of repetitive motion is I don't bounce back anymore. And I wanted to say the only time I ever run is when chased. That's my personal policy. That
used to be mine. Now it's like, you know what? I'll just take whatever.
I don't even, and even then, I consider not running. Good call.
You know what? Like, how long will it really take me to burn to death in this fire? I'll just.
I can really do a fast walk. I think that's enough, right? I don't want to. I need, if I run, I'm gonna have to stop and bend over and probably lay down.
Right.
And that's not what it's called for in this moment.
I'd run out and like the fireman would be there and I'd be down on the ground and be like, did you just inhale smoke? Did you get burnt? Are your lungs burning? And I'd be like, I just ran 50 feet.
Yeah, I actually wasn't in the house. I'm coming back. Haven't smelt smoke yet. Yeah, no, that was me running.
So kind of a funny thing. I live in an apartment complex. So like the fire alarms, all the apartments are centrally controlled in the building. And oh my God, like we went through this streak, was it last year or something, where the fire alarms would just constantly be going off. Like 4 a.m, 5. I think like 5 or 6 was the earliest it did it. But it keep on going. Fire department have to come every time they go through. It says which fire alarm set them off, but it goes off in every apartment in the building, and it's really loud to the point where I started wearing earplugs to bed because it's like I can't live like this. And one morning it got so bad, I sent an email to the office, And I'm not one who's like, the person who's reading the email is not the person responsible for it. So I'm not.
Right.
Like, look, is something going to be done about this? I need to know. So, because I'll rent, I need to know so I know whether or not to rent a hotel room, because I really need to get some sleep. And they finally went through and changed everything. Well, things have been really good since then, And then I think it was before a BYOI show a couple weeks ago. Home real quick, changing. And I wanted to spend a little more time just being lazy before I left.
Yeah.
Fire alarms start going off. And I'm like, I need to leave because before the fire truck will come, it would block me from leaving.
Right.
I think it was before the first in-person show. Like, I'm not missing.
You're not missing that one, yeah.
I left, and there were so many fire trucks that were coming towards the building. Like, oh my God, what did I do? I didn't see any fires. Like, usually it's just one who pulls up at least four.
Wow.
Big, long ones coming. It's like, oh no, what am I coming back to? Turns out nothing. Don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes they don't know what the cause is, and they all come. Like they're like, "Oh, this one."
It's like they're bringing them in from other countries and stuff.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yeah, Canada fire. 5 hours later. Was there an alarm here 5 hours ago? Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Bunch of bouncing on a fire engine coming over.
The horses, they come in on horses. That's it. I love it.
Oh.
Cool. Hey, so what you got cooking for this week?
Well, this Saturday at 7 p.m., doing my first in-person show with Pig in over a year and a half.
That is insane.
Looking forward to it. We actually, after this, having the Zoom call with the team to come up with the team name.
Nice.
It's the exact same members that we had before, adding Mindy, who is an awesome add to the team.
Yep.
So we're probably going to go with the team name because we're going to be keeping team names. We will see if Jerrod and the Dumb Fox takes it. We are going to keep on doing the Herald and, hoping we can. So we were doing an organic opener before the show. And I remember when we were talking about it, it was like, I feel silly doing organic openers.
Yeah, me too.
I want to be the team that has the balls to do the organic opener.
Sure.
And we did. And I like, when it comes to an opener to pull things for scenes, organic is such a good opener. My long form improv, one of my long form improv opinions is that a lot of openers lack value. People put way too much thought into them.
Yeah.
Out of them, and you're really not getting a whole lot. Honestly, I think for most of them, you're not getting much more than just a word and go.
Yeah.
But I will say that on organic, it is a bountiful harvest of openers. So
and I think because they're not plot oriented, they're a little easier to remember. All the details. Yeah. Like they're just little snippets, and those are easy to remember than, because I think what happens is you're like, oh, I want to remember that there was Aunt Clara. They introduced Aunt Clara in this, and then, oh, what's Aunt Clara all about? Well, in organic, you just have a little something, then it's on to something else, and then it's on to something else. And usually people will glom onto different things too. Yeah. So it's not like everybody's trying to do Aunt Clara,
I also think that because you're doing it, when you're doing the different motions, you're also, you're feeling the emotions that motion makes you think of. And I think that also helps, because if you're making a whoop, whoop, whoop noise, or because you're making random noises like that, but that's a happy noise or a surprise noise, but it's something that gives you an emotion when you're doing the motion and making the noise. That's why. On Tuesday, teaching level 2, the class is full.
Woo!
Max class. I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to that. That's what me and Mike Dunn were talking about last night. He's going to be a fantastic TA. I'm thrilled for the class. I'm thrilled for me, and I'm thrilled for him. I think that's
awesome.
Such an awesome time. And then next Friday, I'll be Bring Your Own Improv 7 and 9, because this Saturday is 7. That's the time that team forming. BYOI 7 and 9 o'clock shows. That one you can just show up and get your ticket there. I don't know if you're aware of this for Pig right now. It's you have to get the ticket online.
Yes.
Because it's smaller room. We're really not cramming people together in that world quite yet. So BYOI more seats, so people can still just show up and watch a show. And I have to check. I'm not sure if Amy's performing with. I know she's performing this Friday. I don't know about next Friday. And these are my plugs, not your plugs, Amy.
Exactly, Amy. Stop trying to commandeer our show, Amy.
Stop trying to take my plugs.
Get a show of your own, Amy.
2 weeks from now, will be another Ian and Jerrod's Humpday Extravaganza.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, this is my rehearsal night, and I've got to tell them, got to do it every other week. Got to do it every other week. Yeah, you're going to have to do the off weeks.
Yep.
But it seems like everybody's okay with that. So I was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice having a schedule at full again.
Yeah. So, all right, my friend.
All right.
I think that concludes our show on getting older.
Question.
What's that?
Did you forget your plugs?
I don't really have any. All right, so let's see. What can I plug? So my yet to be named team is performing on the 29th, I believe. Okay. Friday night, the 29th, Halloween weekend. I do not know if I will be in that show, but either way, you should see it. It's going to be fun. Yes, but that's the only show I won't be able to make. I should be able to make the rest of the other two for the year. And then our show. I don't have any. That Wilty hasn't been scheduled. I got to play Wilty, which was fun.
That was
a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm hoping, since Pig is dark on Thursdays now, that we can continue with some virtual stuff on Thursdays, and Wilty being one of them. So
you know what? One thing we can plug for both of us.
What's that?
It is still not too late to get me a birthday present, and it is not too early to get Ian a birthday present.
That is true story. I love presents.
We should keep that plug going all the way through the next quarter.
Yeah. Also, I think I'm going to throw myself a big 50th birthday party. So, yeah. So there's people that are watching this and on the show that will be invited.
I'm sure on the day of your birthday there will be plenty of people who are open.
Plenty of people. No, it would be a few weeks early. It would be an anticipatory celebration. Yes, a pre-celebration, if you will.
You better not die between the birthday party and your actual birthday.
Well, if I do, I'll make sure that in my will all the gifts go back.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So
I'll definitely put a from on the tag.
Yeah, everybody just is like, you're gonna get a gift, but you gotta wait till the 25th. Like, I don't trust you. You're not running. You clearly aren't running. You could keel over at any time. You're 50. You're old.
Yeah,
it's not a given.
You're lucky to have had this many birthdays.
That's right. So, all right, my friend. That's my plugs. That's your plugs. I will. We'll see everybody in a couple weeks. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. See you next fortnight, folks.
Yeah. And see us in some shows.
Yeah.
Now that you can. Do it.
Way better looking in person.
That's right. All right.